have my sister Jessica in my face today. Got some stuff to get off my chest. Hey, Washington, D.C., you waking up out there? Washington, D.C., you got your ears on? Hey, Washington, D.C., wake up, you stupid bitches. Washington, D.C., you got your ears on out there? I got some stuff to say to you. Washington, D.C., you got your ears on out there? Because today I say I'm in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., what are you doing? You down in the basement, Washington, D.C., eating your pizza and your hot dogs, Washington, D.C.? America's built on butt stuff by a bunch of men with erectile dysfunction. I can't be too loud, get excited. Mom's still sleeping. I have to use my emotional control. I got more emotional control than those stupid cousins in Washington, D.C. These people are ruining this land. It's too pretty to ruin. Look at that tube. It's a tubular class. It's a tube class. This is in Alaska when I went there. There's too many posers on planet Earth, so I gotta tell stories of my actual account. This one right here. See those little planes right there? That's looking glass. That's where the looking glass plane would sit. And they would monitor and they would collect their data. And they'd pay themselves such good wages to monitor the people of their own land. Chugabird! I enlisted into the military because I had this little dog. And he was like 7 years old. And I wanted to take care of him, be able to take him to the vet and stuff like that. And I knew I couldn't do that with the disadvantages I had in life. So I set off in the big adventure. Big old adventure. I'm gonna go to college, and I'll give Uncle Sam 6 years of my life. So I get college degrees so society will deem me as important and pay me wages so I can take my dog to the vet. And then it turned into, oh shoot, Mom's not going to be able to take care of herself one day. She walks to the grocery store, but one day she ain't going to be able to walk to the grocery store by her, and because she got bad feet. So either I'm going to have to, so she's going to have to I'm going to have to take care of her too. And so I enlisted back in 2000. I started talking to the recruiters, and I was older than the recruiter. I was like 25 when I enlisted. I wasn't 18 years old just moving out on my own. No, I already had been a part of the horrors of what planet Earth is. Mom moved us up to northern Redding, California in the early 80s. You want to know what wicked and evil is? Live on the 40th parallel in a Freemason town. People always get disappeared. They're always hunting people in the woods. Heck, Mount Shasta's known for that. That's why do you think, like, the Bushes would go visit Redding and do speeches because they travel around and have their hunting parties. This is just common knowledge of what locals know. People that live in the same place and they see the people's same patterns. So I enlisted to go into the Air Force to get a college education. And that's when I started figuring out what a crock America was. Like, Washington, D.C. and Hollywood, they are the same. They're no different. When people put on their little uniforms and they go to work and they play mechanics so we can... I don't even want to talk about I don't want to let any energy go on the bullshit that they made me a part of back then, and they're still doing it today, because America is built on butt stuff by men with erectile dysfunction. They have parades about it, and then veterans die every day because we just kill ourselves. Because why? Because why? Because we look at this and that's stupid, so why live? Why live? People have been telling me to kill myself for decades. And then I think it's interesting how it's like a whole thing that the mentality on, I never ever, I want people to live. I don't want people to die. But I got to go on paid vacation. This is Crete. This is where I got to hang out. I got to go to the past. Because if you got the good blood, you get the good jobs. You get the good assignments. So I got the good assignment. I got to go to Crete. Look at this right next to the hotel at Crete. This is a little race car track for the tourists. The panorama. Here's the nice lady that I think I didn't quit smoking cigarettes until 2010. I always make friends with staff wherever I go, the support staff. Look at that. Those are so you know what I learned about Turkish coffee? Like coffee in the Middle East? It's wherever you go, there you are. The bartender was like, it's all the same coffee. It's all the same stuff. But if you drink the cup of coffee in Turkey, then it's Turkish coffee. But if you're over here in Crete, it's Crete. Like, humans are programmed and the rest of the world just has to tolerate our nonsense. It's really how it is. We live in a la-la land. We do. We're programmed from birth to have reverence for lies. Just believe in Santa Claus. Go along with the bullshit and you'll be handsomely rewarded. And they tried to get me to go along with the bullshit, but I never got handsomely rewarded. And I don't really like traveling so much. I got to go to North Pole, Alaska that one time. Because this is the little dog that I enlisted for. He's been long since gone. He's in heaven. This is my favorite picture ever of him. Arthur Boo. So, I listened to a book on tape last night. I got to copy and paste. I put it on my community this morning, but maybe I'll cut and pop. I'll make it easy for people. I think it's the whole book. It's called The Coiled Serpent by C.J. Van I don't know how they fuck up words to make them sound like different stuff. So it's The Coiled Serpent. That's what I hit play last night when I went to sleep, and my just subconscious just took it all in, and I woke up and now I'm a complete prude. Living a life of abstinence. Because this book makes so much sense. I've always been a prude. I always thought that the world, like every situation would be better off if people just kept it in the room, but people have to take their thoughts and like undress people and imagine things that they things and do things. Like, it's a very incestuous world, and I live in New Mexico, probably the most incestuous state on the planet. Really. Like, it's literally known for cousins having babies with cousins. And then if you talk about it, like, I'm the asshole. Well, but I never fuck my cousin. I know I don't do things like that. I'm a prude. See, you get off the hook with so many things from being the prude. You can't, hey man, it ain't me, man. See, I was always taught, like, you don't get things if you can't take care of them. Like kids. You shouldn't have kids if you can't fucking feed your kids and clothe your kids and know inherently what that kid's gonna need its whole life. And not trip to Disney World and little fucking Jordans and bullshit. You know, like trips to the fucking... What are they doing next? What's the next bullshit holiday that they do? Drink green beer and tell people do weird butt stuff. And then after that, they hunt for eggs until people do weird butt stuff. Like, that's what America is, and they want me to be so proud of that, and pride's a fool's emotion. I'm not going to be proud of that shit. Dude, I was a kid that should not have been touched. So I'm that's why I'm a prude, is because that's why I don't think that that all these people that are in charge should be in charge, because they're not creditable character. They're not people of good character. People that get paid six figures and live in Washington, D.C. and have private jets and have tassels on their shoes and do very little to impact the world in a positive way. Like, every poli-sci is acting class. Do you understand that they are paid actors? That lobbyists are their marketing, their sales and marketing teams is what lobbyists are. They're the scumbags that I was in IT after I got out of the military, and they're the scumbags that I always had to take the porn off of. I always had to clean the nasty viruses off their bullshit, because these fuckers would not stop looking at porn. And I would complain to the bosses, but it didn't matter, because it's just guys being guys, blowing off steam. And I'm like, well, I gotta look at this woman's, like, wide open spaces so she can pay for her kids' dentist work or whatever, because this guy's just is a pig. I'm surrounded by pigs my whole life. I worked in the military. I would have to sit in the truck with these guys, and they would tell me about all the times they cheated in the desert, all the pieces of ass they got while they were deployed. And I'd be like, you're married. You're married. And you're telling me about how you're cheating on... I don't need the burdens of your fucking nasty sins. And that's the men in the military. Then they go over there and they cheat, and then they have kids, and then people do DNA tests, and then they figure out, oh, that's why Dad's been so quiet all these years. He didn't want to tell the world about all the debauchery, scumbag kid fucking he did in the desert to make his time pass. Because that's what men in America do. Happened to me as a 10-month-old baby. If people... There's two kinds of people in the world. People that have lived, like, through horrendous situations, and then people that create those horrendous situations. And what we're seeing is that the limp dicks in D.C., they get so bad because they can't control their bodies. They ate too much McDonald's, drank too much Diet Coke, you must not be that good at golf because you haven't seen your feet. When is the last time that dude has seen his feet? Men that don't see their feet are no kind of men to me. If you look down, or if you have to see that you're a man by looking in the reflection of glass, because I can't see because of my big old gut. So when I look down, where's my penis? I don't know. I better go out there and find my masculinity out there in the world, because I can't see it. My biggest tormentors in life were always men. The biggest narcissistic asshole I know is my own brother, and he's a lawyer that takes $250,000 a year for the state of California. And when I asked him to help to just find a little one-room cabin for me and Mom where I could grow a garden and not have to deal with society, his response is, "Mom is your problem." So anybody that's a lawyer, you're kind of evil. And look at all the politicians in D.C. that are lawyers that are all kind of evil. Isn't that weird that the United States of America has a system that's based on the lesser of evils? You understand it's still evil, right? I'm still waiting to find out who hacked up Emily Pike. Nobody cares. I care. Sloan Bella, she cares. Sometime in every chat, I will share every Emily Pike video I ever see for the rest of my life, because that girl deserves better than what she got. 3 people reported. See, because I was one of those little girls. I just never got hacked up yet. Well, I live in New Mexico, so you never can tell. People are fucking sick, man, everywhere. People want you gone. They'll find you out and they'll get rid of the threat. That's what we're doing over there. Just because the president's into butt stuff, it fucks kids. So we're bombing people in places that don't need their lives disrupt because America's built on butt stuff by dudes with erectile function. And you know how I got this? There's knowing that I have. It's been progressing for a long time. I only went snowboarding one time. Hey, Miss J. And that was on Mount Shasta. You know what Mount Shasta is? Mount Shasta is the earth. The being of earth having its own incarnation. It's its first chakra. So all the knowing is constantly spewing out of the top of the mountain that's not erupting, if you could visualize that, okay? So I went with some friends of mine, and I was drinking some E&J out of a flask. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this is what, so like my whole life in high school, all the people, when I had to stay home on all weekend and people were going off to Colorado, and like, because people I went to high school, they got all the privilege. You know, they're going off to Mount, Squaw Valley, Truckee, all these places, skiing every weekend. Oh, we're going up to Mount Hood, we're going skiing. They come back with their bullshit tags. Look at all this wheeze we got. We got to wee down a hill here. We got to wee down a hill. And I always had to stay home, and we didn't have a lot of food to eat because we were poor and shit, And I have to go back and hear all the stories of the wheeze. And then I went that one time. I came off, I snowboarded. It was snowboarding. And they're trying to explain to me how to do it under conditions where conditions are good. Unfortunately, by the time we got there, up the lift, everything, it was like, at a time that we got off the ski lift on a sheet of ice, and I hit, there's even a trained professional can't stop on ice, on a sheet of ice, and I just went boop on my tailbone, and I cracked open. I broke my coccyx. I broke my tail. I broke open my first chakra on the Earth's first chakra is what I did, and that. I mostly live in a disassociated state. Like, I don't live on the earth with all of the other people that go around and do stupid shit on the earth. Like, I don't go to barn. Like, I used to be a part of the program, and then I figured out how lame the program is what happened. And so I don't go in environments where I want to go in environments where I can learn or I can teach. Both of those things at the same time congruently would be better. But unfortunately, I live in a place where I don't learn from people. So I have to listen. My bedtime stories have to be these books on how to, not be a hoe bag. And so that's my new thing is abstinence. And anybody that is not abstinent, well, I guess they're just not fully in their capacity. That's all I can say. How many people have kids on this earth that they're so scared because they don't know that they can take care of them kids or even give the kids the knowledge that the kid needs to be safe? Because so many people roam this planet just going around doing whatever they want whenever they feel like it. Just wreaking havoc, breaking stuff, making loud noises, wreaking havoc. Why? So the bro club, when they're done with their stupid election, whatever, they can go off and play real estate mogul in the desert. That's all we do. This country is gross. This country is so ugly. You go out in America, there used to be so many, yes, looks are very important to me. Looks are a testimony that people fucking try to give a shit about themselves. I don't care what size you are. I don't care what color you are. I care, like, when's the last time did I have McDonald's? 2020. That's the last time I went and sat 10 minutes in a drive-thru for some fake-ass people food, Soylent Green. And I think about, like, if you could put on the loop every single person between 2020 and now that have all, and put all of their crap in a bucket, it would probably fill a stadium that they're selling. Like Seattle or some bullshit. Like, that's just a lot of people eating their feelings. Like, the dredge of humanity are seeping out and oozing everywhere because largely because people don't have gratitude in their heart. They're not grateful for what they have. Like, I will never forget, I want New Mexico to change its name because it was so friendly with Epstein. I don't want to live in a place that is the same name that it was when it was friends with Epstein. So I'm all for, call it Mexico. We'll just be a part of Mexico. We can just go be a part of Mexico because where I live, dude, I don't know what like the Ooga Booga stories with the cartel shit, dude. People that hold signs cross the border all the time, go down and see their dad. It ain't nothing. Like, there's only pockets of places where people give a shit because they're getting paid so much to give a shit. They're all pick-me boys and girls. I have the propensity. That's why I'm so good at playing by myself, because I'll go into an environment, I'll be like, oh, you guys say you're going to do this great thing. Excuse me, this great thing. Me and Arthur, boo. He's where I enlisted, dude. Who does that? Only a fool would enlist in the military for the care of a dog. But now I take care of mom. I look out there, I look at all the people, and I'm just like, okay, who takes care of their people? Or who just has a support staff in their life? Because a lot of people, man, my FYPs are constantly people like crying in their cars, going, dude, just nobody cares. Nobody cares. And I said, I care. I'm right here, I care. You know why? Because I have been you. I have cried to myself on the internet because I didn't know where I was going to live with my mom. And freaking all the supposed 7 billion people on this planet, which is a lie. They lie about, who's going to count the 7 billion? Which stupid cousins are counting the 7 billion population? And how many, and then who does the plus and minuses? I know there's not that many people like naturally having babies anymore, so they're going back to the incubator babies. They're going back to that. They're going back to fake weird shit. For your own good, we're going to make weird shit. That's America. For your own good, we're going to kill people that deserves to die. So I got to make up for that. I actually got a call from the VA clinic in Taos yesterday. And it's just like, I got a hearing test in September. I had to take my mom right after my third little sweet boy Tucker died. Take her down to fucking Santa Fe for a hearing test that they could have easily done here. I tried everything. I said I will pay out of pocket. I said whatever I can do to keep my mom from being uncomfortable. I don't have air conditioning. Like, come on, man, help me. Nope. So I did it. I still haven't gotten my benefit yet. All they have to do, understand, is change a field. I am at 90%. All they have to do is change a field to 100%, and I get this fucking metal out of my teeth. I don't even have cavities, and they put this shit in my teeth. Why? Because heavy metal is hard on your body. Heavy metal doesn't filter through kidneys and livers, and there's always flakes falling off, and it's something that fucking people with money did to poor people to fucking torture us. And I want this shit out of my head, and I can't get it out of my head until I get 100%. But somebody is fucking sitting there going, this bitch talks too much on the internet. So let's just hold what she is due. And that's the men of them and women of America, the withholder. Let's not help them. Fuck them. I made every good choice. They said, go to college, Margie, go to college. They said, don't drink, Margie. I stopped drinking. They said, do this, Margie. I did it. My whole life, people have been telling me what to do, and then I did it, and it has never been to my advantage. It's always been to theirs. So now, fuck you, DC. Fuck you, Marge Hayoka clown. I'm gonna start blasting my credentials all over the fucking internet. I'm gonna put my resume out there. I got letters of recommendation from actual decent human beings in the United States of America that just caught up into your bullshit lies of butt stuff. Because you fuckers get aroused from dropping bombs. That's why we go to war. I listen to this infantile drivel on the news where an orange man talks about how we have to fucking kill people for America when the state I live in, New Mexico, is way worse than Iran. Albuquerque sucks bigger dick than Iran. So why don't you clean up your shit here, Biff? Put me in the room with Donald Trump. Put me in the room with Congress. Put me at the podium. I will say what I have to say in a peaceful manner, and I will clown every single one of those stupid, incestual, white, brown, doesn't matter, Bobby Coyles, Jerome Allen Hessicks, all their Statman brothers, all their weird friends, Jesse Armstrongs, all these fucking dudes into weird shit that have been hiding all of them. They're all, America's fallen down the toilet because of perversion. Perverted people. Hiding in their closets, doing weird stuff, dominance, control, cocaine, drinking, alcohol. God has not, and then they want a designated God. What God? Is that Moloch? Is that what your day of prayer is about? Moloch, or is it Baal? Because it ain't good orderly direction. My God says you don't do weird shit with kids ever. Ever! You don't write out in the newspaper about how it's okay to do weird shit with kids. I was one of those kids that people did weird shit to, and you don't do it. You just don't do it. And people just do it. People in America do it everywhere. Eating their pizza, playing their little... Who still goes to Lady Gaga in 2026? I went and saw her 10 years ago, back in Tacoma. That was when I left the 3D Earth, was her show. That was the last time I will put any kind of loosh into false idols for profits, because that's exactly what they are. It's a game to suck your life force. See, I had my Kundalini awakening back in 1994. How many years ago is that? 32 years ago I had it. So I just have been waiting for people to wake up. This is after all the monstrosities of what has happened to me in my life. By important people. Anytime someone tells me that they're an important person, they're a person of status, they're a person, don't you know who I am? I'm just like, dude, you're the guy that freaking doesn't wipe the shit off his hands all the way. That's who you are. Because I can smell it when I have to go to your keyboard. I used to wear plastic gloves because I didn't want to touch people's keyboards when I was in IT. Because people are fucking filthy. People would be like, my key doesn't work. My K doesn't work. First thing I do is, with my rubber gloves, this is how I show people what they are. I take their keyboard and I turn it upside down, and I'd shake it out. And then I would leave all this shit because they just stuff their faces over their keyboards, and then food falls in their keyboards, and then their shit don't work. That's corporate America. I worked at hospitals, I worked at universities, just a bunch of really important people being pigs. Hogging all the resources so single moms and dads don't have what they need to take care of their kids. But look at all the stupid idiots traveling around every NFL season, and of all the basketballs that go through have fallen through hoops while people disappear on planet Earth. All the football pigskins that have been passed while 800,000 people disappear every single year in the United States. So when they count population numbers, are they including or those people that have never been seen in years again? Are they including all of them? Or do they have to have a like how come they never find out the 800? Like, why is it every year in the United States 800,000 people go missing in the United States? Why is that a thing? Why is that allowed? Like, if only there were groups of men that we could pay to have all of our resources to keep us safe. I remember back in the 90s, I'm like, why do these assholes, Mom, we don't get to drive a car, but these assholes get to take their sheriff car home. Why is that? You know what their answer to that is? It's so an emergency happens, they can get there quicker. They don't have to. No, it's so they don't got to break their own shit. They drive it like it's stolen. How many people go missing every year in the USA? Oh, approximately 600,000 now. And my brother wanted to be in the FBI. That's how I'm like, dude, they're paying actors. I can't take people seriously that are like my brother. He's a fraternity guy. He took me to, I was like 16. He took me to one of his fraternity. It was a bunch of fucking stupid drunk people in a basement. And then a little while later, all these people end up taking their pants off and stuff. That ain't cool to me. That's weird to me. No, I like doing fun stuff. He took me one time to the Festival of Animation. That was cool, because I've always been the artistic mind, and then you got the weirdos that it's like they want you to be like them. That's like you don't hang out with nobody was more surprised that I drank after 15 years sober than me. It was like the whole world was waiting for me to do it. That was like people wanted me to. It was so weird. And I went to AA in Bellevue, Nebraska, that started from people in Washington, D.C., the Foxhall group. Dude, that's all its own CIA, Epstein group itself is recovery. How many people aren't in jail but have exposed themselves indecently to young Bobby Coyle? A PA? Your city's in the shitter, eh, Bobby? Bobby, the guy likes to give shout-outs, so every now and again I like to say, hey, Bobby, you still getting happy endings at the massage parlor out there in PA, Bobby? Is your city the best city in the world, Bobby? The city of brotherly butt stuff, Bobby Coyle of PA. You're a shit stain. You're the whitest shit stain on the fabric of society, Bobby. And I tell you, Bobby, if I ever see ya, I'll say it to your face, Bobby, and your wife knows it. Your wife knows, oh God, don't, dude. Just leave her alone. Leave her alone, because she's going to fucking clown you. And she's done more than you, Bobby. She didn't sit at a desk and be the policeman poster boy for the union of a group of men that have been letting Epstein and all of his buddies. All of the police departments are all responsible because they didn't catch the bad guys, even within their own organizations. That is why I proudly declare the Fraternal Order of Brotherhood butt stuff. Anybody with a badge? Who did you have to bend? What table did you bend over to get your little shiny star? Huh? Because ain't no sheriff helped me in my life. There's been a lot of dastardly men. My own brother slammed my own brother tried to kill me, couldn't control himself. So yeah, I know what it looks like when a man doesn't have emotional control. They usually going around and tell me I'm too emotional, but I have never lost my shit on somebody that I supposedly cared about, my little sister. And fucking like Willie, and he did it more than once. One crack. I'm like, I was just waiting for the blood to start seeping out of the back. And that man makes $240,000 a year. California, he could get, no, I think statute of limitations up. So he can't even get disbarred for that. So that's fine. There's no consequences to yet another man in America that they create with their masculinities. They target Pisces men, Virgo men. I got this whole theory. You know, it's all astrology. My brother is a Virgo. This is so funny. Our astrology of our family. I don't know mom's astrology because she was thrown away like trash. She was adopted thrown away by Crescelia Cisneros is her mother's name, and so I don't know her like. I think a lot of people's in terms of their astrological lineage. So, mom's Sagittarius, my dad was an Aries. And then my dad was born to a Leo, was my grandpa, and my grandma was a Sagittarius, right? And then you know how they say, like kids date one of their parents? Well, my dad ended up finding my mom, who was a Sagittarius, and then they had me in Aries. Which is such a trip to me. And I have no earth. I am fire and air. So all these people are fire and air, fire and air, fire. I'm like, welcome to my world all the time. Now you guys get to learn how to contain yourself. And see, that's what the game of life is about. It's about containing yourself all the time. You got people that go to Sedona and all these astrologers and fakey fakes and snake oil salesmen and shit. And then come to my conference here. Come to my comfortable environment here. Come to my comfort. You don't know who you are until you're uncomfortable in life. So I don't buy any of these Sedona conference goers. None of these new life ager bullshit. Dude, I was an age ranger in the Air Force. What do I get? I was like, I got a degree that says I have a degree in aerospace ground equipment. Like, that's age. I have a degree in age. And we're coming into the new age. But who knows more about age than me? Because I've seen all the age. All the ages. I see all the ages all at the same time. It's all my Pisces placement. Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. And my Gemini is highly influential too. 29 degrees Saturn. In the 12th house in Gemini. That has to qualify me for something. There's got to be a golden ticket for me someplace just based on that, right? Right? Because there's so many people that have less significant lives. They've done less things. They've traveled here and they sat on that bar stool and they drank that thing and ate that thing and they crapped in a toilet. And then they went to this city and they did the same thing over here. But they never make these places any better wherever they go. The world would be so much. I get all ranty sometimes when I go play. I get excited about stuff. I was at getting Mom an egg omelet the other day at Ricky's, and I was telling him, I said, just think, if everybody went out in the world, and if every single person did something like picked up a piece of garbage, or just like did something to make the world just think about the butterfly effect of what that would do. I go to places like, I try to go when people aren't. I really am avoidant. I really try to avoid people. I really do. Because my mouth, man, it just gets me there. Other people get so offended by the shit I say. And so, like, I'll see people with garbage on the, or like, I'll walk through the little town square or something. And there'll be trash a piece of, like a cup laying there on the ground. But then on this bench, there's this girl sitting on her phone scrolling. And then right here, there's this guy and his dog sitting on. There's like 15 people sitting around just waiting for that. And I walk around, and I'll walk up and I'll grab the trash and make a big old loud proclamation. Don't worry, everybody! I got it! Here, I got it, don't worry. Y'all just relax. You're all here at Taos to relax, right? So whoever dropped this garbage, don't you worry about this thing. Because that mentality holds true. That somebody fucking else will do it. Well, I'll be the someone else. I'll do it. I'll pick up the trash that I didn't put down, but somebody probably born and raised or from out of town, the Torons, it don't matter. They're all the same to me. It's a mentality of you drop your shit and you're going to fucking leave it there. And that's why the world's going to shit. Huh. I didn't know his little eyes were red. This is pretty cool. I think this is a mom present, or I can't remember. We get loot and then we just share it. Standing turtles don't run. This is mine. I'm my own standing turtle. My altar. I don't look at it as all. It's just it's another aspect of me. I'm not getting no more tattoos though. There ain't no more tattoo artists that exist that are cool enough to ink me no more. Besides, it's not good for your thyroid and your lymph nodes and stuff like that. And I gotta get this metal out of my teeth. So I get a call yesterday from the VA. And my phone is funny. Like, if I'm not supposed to hear from people, I won't get. Universe denies access to me a lot. And so I get a message and then I call back and then it was Jonathan. Fucking Jonathan. Jonathan, I'm going to say my name and I want to hear you sit up in your chair. Okay, Jonathan? Can we do that? Can we work on Jonathan's work ethic at the Taos VA clinic? This guy, because I know it, because I used to been that. Because my back is always hurt, so I lay in weird positions. But one thing you can do is I can tell when people are laying on their back. I can't take people aren't taking me seriously if they're laying on their back. But if you're sitting up, you're at attention, like you're giving your attention to the person that's calling, it comes out in people's voices. And when I call this kid, it don't. And so he did ask for the last four of my social. Good on him this time. But I don't care because I just say, call and say, somebody, you guys called me, what do you want? That's what do you want? I don't have an appointment until later that I know it's coming up, but what do you want? And see, I know that there's big shifts happening because on my VA app, now it says you can get an updated letter over the app. They don't want to be bothered. People and agencies don't want to be bothered. But they don't provide a good enough IT environment that we can just solely rely on that. Because I got this hearing test back in September. I got the document, gave them a copy like 2 months ago. Still nothing. No movement. All they have to do is change a field. And I can get this shit out of my teeth and I could buy a house for me and Mom where we can just sit and have our own garden and invite people over and have supper. And that's all I want to do. And I want to make caramel for people. And I want to infuse the caramel with healing frequencies. And then so people feel better. Because when people feel better, they do better. But look at America now. Look at all the people that have everything they could possibly want in the whole world. Do they feel better? No. How can you tell? They're not acting better. How's that? We're bombing people in places that we don't belong in. We're making garbage that we're making trash in other places and it's bothering people, and America is built on that and it really needs to stop. I don't think the American people want to live in a country where we're the fucking asshole machismo because these dickheads watch In the 70s, they watched The Godfather. And so now we have to live as a byproduct of this gross shit because fucking assholes watched The Godfather in the 70s. And now they're all in charge because don't you know who they are? But they all got erectile dysfunction. They're all fucking slow and dumb. And like the only way they get advantage is from killing people from a distance. You know, it's just a big game to them. We're just a bunch of, what are they called? I don't know. There's so many different words for cattle. Like goys, the goy boys, you know. Like, I don't know. I never went by authenticity because I grew up watching so many different things. And I didn't want to talk too much trash because I could be talking trash about me. But I'm okay with talking trash about me because I know my character defects. That's how I know all these other people suck, because I'm like, man, I used to be a really shitty human being when I drank alcohol and stuff like that. You know, I used to want to be a womanizer and do all that freaking nasty, lustful stuff. Thank goodness I didn't live that way. Thank goodness, like, you know, I doubt I'll ever. I think this incarnation is a solo incarnation for me. Yeah, like. Because there's so many people I wouldn't date. There's so many people I wouldn't get naked with. That it narrows it down. And then there's, on the opposite side, there's like a bazillion times of people that don't want to have anything to do with me. So it's a two-way street, see. And then I see people that like that's their whole motivation in life is go out, get drunk, and get laid. Repeat, rinse and repeat. Go out, get drunk, get laid. Go out, and then it creates something within the spirit that back in the day they used to call it incomprehensible demoralization. Like people feel bad about themselves, so they go drink alcohol to feel better, and then they would do more stupid shit that they feel bad about. If they have a conscience. I know I've met so many psychopaths and sociopaths. And a lot of them, you know, it's like, you know how you could tell, like, they put their parent in a home. Putting your parent in the home is like one of the most narcissistic thing in the world. Because, like, mom didn't know what the hell she was doing. But she fought like hell to keep me and to protect me. Even though it didn't always work out, the world's a gross place. You know? Like, you go to the park in the 70s as a 2-3, you know, you're right there, and I'm an independent kid. You know, mom's sitting on the bench reading a book or whatever. And I'm like, I gotta go pee. Okay, go to the bathroom. And she lets me run off. And then there's some dude in the bathroom with his junk in his hand. Ah! Run out, all jolted, scared. That's America. I mean, I don't. These people, they keep trying to paint a picture of and I'm like, no, that's not America. No, Uncle Sam. It's all about, dude. I can't believe how stupid they think I am if I'm gonna buy any of the bullshit that Washington D.C. ever puts out at any given time. It's all bullshit. Poli-sci is acting class. Dude, none of these people have any viable skills. Dude, these people make 6 figures. They don't do their own laundry. They call in laundry. And they don't pay for any of this. So, you know, they don't want to. They don't have to pay. Military members, veterans, we don't pay for health care. I don't go to the doctor in New Mexico because it's the land of the stupid cousin, and I won't get surgery and stuff like that. I'm not doing those things. Until they may come back to the holistic approach of medicine, I'm not letting nobody touch it. And mom don't like going to the doctor. Mom looks like a little bird. Her little body has been so hacked up. And it's so, she has so much scar tissue, and it's just, this world has not done women like her favors. And so all these, like, you know how I know the world isn't real? It's because there's never going to be an instance, I don't think, where that stupid bitch stupid Pam bitch. Like, where I would love to fucking walk into a restroom sometime and that bitch was a tourist in the town that I was in, passing through, and I just like cry, like, because because I'm a real person, and none of these people on TV, in DC, none of those media people, all of those people that say, hey, look at me and watch me do the news, talk about fake shit on the internet, none of those people are real. They might eat oatmeal every day with blueberries, but they're not a real person because they are so contrived. They are so programmed with their face stuff and their lotions and their foreskin lotion like Sandra Bullock. It's all Epstein related. If you are for Epstein, you are for media, you're for sports, all sports, you're for the Olympics, you're for Washington, D.C., you're for organized religion. All of those things are Jeffrey Epstein. It's the spirit of Jeffrey Epstein that gets into people. It's called the Luciferian mentality of I'm just going to do what I want, and it's of no consequences of whoever gets hurt in that. And the way I look at it, if people, you don't want the world. I grew up with the whole Candid Camera. It was a show. It was before Punk. I fucking hated Punk. I never watched an episode of Punk. Ashton Kutcher's a bitch. That guy's got, see, they're gonna get that what they get in the afterlife. It's gonna be so much worse than any embarrassment that they're gonna collect here, because they're the ones that get drugged off by their demons, because they created demons for other people. And as much fear as you instill in others, you're going to reap that back so much worse. So, Candid Camera. They would hide cameras and they would stage circumstances to people, see how people act. And there's oftentimes in my life, because Mom said it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if people like you. It doesn't matter if people don't. You gotta always, if you want to do the right thing in life, you can't pick and choose when you do the right thing. So sometimes you have to override yourself, is what she taught you, and your emotions. Because I always had so many emotions, I'd flash, I'd throw tantrums. I just have to get all of my emotions out. But Mom taught me that there's proper ways to do that. You never touch people. You never put your hands on anybody, even if you're excited and happy. You just don't touch people without permission. It's called anonymity. Not everybody likes to be touched. Not everybody likes to be hugged. Not everybody's in the same present moment. They're thinking about something someplace else, and you touch them, you're going to set them off. And so I learned from a very young age that somebody's always watching. It's even if it's, God, good orderly direction, There's the things I've watched people do in Taos is weird. Things I've seen people do in Omaha, Nebraska is weird. Things I've seen people do in Salem, Oregon is really weird. Things I've seen people do in Redding, California, San Francisco, Morro Bay, San Luis Obispo, Escondido, all parts in between, far and wide. Things I've seen people do in, God, they sent me, I was a credit card vendor out of Sacramento in like 95. My brother's practice wife, she got this gig and she'd sell phone cards and shit like, and credit cards and stuff like that. It's just all a racket. And so they flew me from Sacramento with the whole team of people all over the United States, but these people were from like New Zealand and like from the UK. They just ended up here, right? And they flew us all to Buckhead, Georgia, to a Costco, a Sam's Club. No, it was a Sam's Club. So we could stand there, and then they had different, like, there was like 8 of us, So they sent us to 4 different locations. Okay? So we could stand at a table with a clipboard with an application on it and try and get, hey, you want to sign up for a credit card? And you think in terms of how much that credit card spent in the 90s for 8-10 people. And all we did was pretty much party. We were supposed to be there 7 days. By the 3rd day, we were like, we're standing here for no reason. They're like paying us. Like, and I always thought it was so weird that there's a Sam's Club in Sacramento, but they just have so much money they wasted on stupid things. And then they reward each other by having conferences in Vegas and stuff like that. That's like straight up called Sin City. Where's the good orderly direction in that? If I had a square foot for every asshole that cheated on their spouse in Vegas, because people go there to do those things intentionally. People go on vacation to be who they actually are in other places. That's why so many other countries outside of the United States hate the United States. Because the United States people can't conduct themselves in orderly, respectable fashions. So they have to go over there and be who they are in other places. Only they're worse because they let it all go. They let it all go. They're just going to act out those things that they've seen on TV. And where do you go do that? Amsterdam, DC, Bangkok. There's all these places where just people have to just escape themselves. And the stuff that they do is evil and it's wicked. And that's what merICKa is. merICKa. And see, I make fun because I'm related to this guy. This guy is my lizard blood. I have this guy's face. This is my grandma's ancestor. Right there. His name is Isaac Walton. He's got a whole fucking institute of land conservation. I'm like, I needed a place to live. Could I get a ½ acre? I'm related to this guy, but nepotism. He's one of them fucking butt-loving Freemason dudes. One of them pilgrims. But see, Mom's Native American, indigenous. Her blood has been on this continent since the 1400s. Her blood that runs through her veins. And we ended up in Taos, New Mexico, 22 miles south of Cuesta, where she came into this world and then was thrown out into the world, into the wolves, where we met. And then we ended up back here from Salem, Oregon 5 years ago. So I'm related to the Nazis. He even has this a cabin in the woods in the UK. He wrote the first book ever on fishing. And I like to fish, so I guess it's in me. See, my lips are too full. The lizards don't have lips. But this guy's face is right here. But do I get the advantage and the privilege of Isaac Walton being born in Stafford, England in 1593? No. Does my brother, the Freemason, and my father, the Freemason asshole? Yes, they get all the privilege. The Complete Angler, it was written in 1653. There's even a Walton house at 120 Chancery Lane, occupied 1627, 1644, from Old and New Youngen, Walter Thornberry. See, he was friends with all the writers, all the creators of history. That's how they create what the world is. They write it on a page and they give it to us and they say, here, this is how it is. Eat it. That's how it is. No, this is reality. Eat it. His legacy. Here's Isaac Walton Cottage. The Swallowford House in Shafford, It's for the benefit of the poor of the poor in his native town. And that's so funny because it's in my blood. I'm trying to make a world where travelers can come and just do laundry, take a shower, so wash your clothes, wash your ass, and fix your car and be on your way. Eat a good meal. I want to have a nice outdoor kitchen too. I have a nice for people that are just don't got no place to be all the time, so they're just passing through. For those folks that don't have thousands and all this money to give to other people, so for their comfort, but they still deserve to be comfortable. So, yeah. What's this? There's a creek named after him in Awatatanan, Minnesota. There's also a pub in Norwich named the Complete Angler. There's a Complete Angler hotel in the Bimini, Bahamas. It was destroyed by fire in 2006. That was the year I got out of the Air Force. It was a hotel bar that was frequented by Ernest Hemingway. See, I got the important people blood in me. What else does this guy got? This guy, they've been paying his homage everywhere. Edmund Shoe Company of Port Washington, Wisconsin produces a Walton style in tribute. In the Silver Divide region of the Sierra Nevada mountain range of California, Mount Isaac Walton is named after Isaac Walton. I didn't even know. I lived in California first 20-something years of my life. Did I know that there was a... No, I didn't even know that I was... See, because my grandma is an Eastern Star witch, so I have such a big mouth, they never want me to know this stuff because they don't want to associate themselves with me. The Isaac Walton State Recreational Site in Sterling, Nebraska is located at the confluence of the Moose River and the Kenai River. His name is linked to the Isaac Walton Inn in Montana. There's an Isaac Walton Inn in Amu, Kenya, overlooking a small stream that feeds into the Rupangazi River. This is my bloodline. And it's never done me any fucking favor. Because I won't take the knee. And he obviously bent the knee. Dudes like this, that's all they do is bend the knee. Look, he has his little Freemason gold ring on there. Just a bullshit, you know? Like, never did me no favor. Never did me no favor. What time is it on the world, the planet Earth? I think I'm done. My voice is getting tired. Maybe I'll go over on TikTok and talk shit about people on the internet over at TikTok. I have to I'm like down to reduce to books on tape because of all of the nonsense that I hear. The only astrologer I really like, I appreciate her point of view, is Aubrey Stars, but like all the rest of them, and she's just a single mom that's trying to get by to take care of her kids, you know, like I don't even think she does readings. She just, I don't know. But she used to be like a gymnast and stuff, so she understands how more things work than just the stars. Because if you look at it like this, like everything is modeled off of something else. Even the human car, even the car, or even an automobile is designed after the same principles of a human being. Yet they keep and put higher regard into automotive and engineering. Because our skin is our cooling system. So our skin is like our radiator system. And so you got to hydrate and put water in your radiator to keep the system going. And there's people on the street, I'll ask them, hey, when's the last time you drank water? Just straight water. I start my morning off every morning with just a little glass of water that my body says, ionized water, good morning. Wake up to your reality. Be positive. Say a little positive words into the water, so when I drink the water, the positivity goes into all my cells. Keep all those bad cancer cells away. Oh, that's why I think the VA called it. She said, well, we're having a clinic where we're doing pap smears. And I said, I don't do that shit. That's for people that's an inner own, that does weird shit, and I don't do weird shit. So I don't need that stuff. And then they said I could come in and talk about my benefits. And I'm just like, oh, God, that means I gotta put pants on. Gotta put pants on and go down there and ask, why am I not worthy of the money that I deserve? Why? What is it? Do I talk too much shit? Is it because I expect Jonathan to sit up in a chair and talk to me when he answers the phone? And not just me, any veteran, anybody that answers the phone. Just sit up and act like you fucking give a shit about your job for being there. Is that too much to ask in the land of the stupid cousin? Because all of America is the land of the stupid cousin. I do not discriminate. It is every place where there's so many people that have advantages, while there's freaking so way many more that don't. It's going to start getting hot again. It's going to start getting dry. People don't have AC. People that get hot. And now we're at year 5 after all these vaccines. And so we're going to get more evidence of heat stroke and stuff like that, because people are just so sensitive, because that's what the vaccines did to me. So I had to learn to adapt, having to navigate in the world with my new body and my new brain, because my country gave me 8 anthrax vaccines back in 2003, after I got back from fighting for freedom and democracy when we bombed Iraq in 2003. So after that, they repaid me by shooting me up with a bunch of formaldehyde and fucking anthrax vaccine. And the whole world knew I was only going to do 6 years and get out. So basically they're trying to kill you off because they don't want you to talk about the bullshit you were a part of in Iraq. And I've been talking about it ever since. Trying real hard to stay healthy so I can keep talking about all the bullshit that America is. America's such a liar, dude. Any group of people that gather and wave their little flag, and in their mind, America's a great place, they need to take that flag and just shove it in their own eye, because that's about the reality of what America is. We're a bunch of machismo assholes that do weird stuff. Because all of us are responsible, because if anybody is allowed to do weird shit to kids, then all of us are letting it happen. If I see it, I'm going to say something. If I see human trafficking, I'm going to call it out. If I see something, I'm going to say something. That's the only... I'm not going to go out looking for trouble. I don't go out looking for trouble. I got to take care of mom. Trouble find me? Yeah. Asshole machismos always like to put me in my place my whole entire life? Yeah. Do I put them on blast? Yeah. Do they still keep coming at me? Yeah. Am I always going to put them on blast? Yeah. Because my name's Marge. I'm a Heyoka empath. I just like to have these little talks on how I feel about things. Because what I found is, if my whole life, Mom taught me, if you talk about how you feel about things, that anger doesn't build up, and then you don't get mad, lash out, and hit people like I see all these people in the world do. It's straight up bumper cars in Taos. These people like to fuck in Albuquerque, Espanola, like all these towns. It's Farmington, like it's just another place. They're just, people are just no emotional control, men and women of all ages. And then they have parades for that. It's weird.